Alright, today in this tutorial, I'm saying we cut my man Trick or Treat. Hey! You shaving a mustache?
No, we're growing it. We're growing it.
Let's go! Here. Oh, snap! But how much is this with the lens and the camera?
This probably like $2,000.
What? You said
$2,000.
200?
Nah, $2,000.
$2,000?
Not including this.
I'm gonna wait on that. And I had this camera soon, but not now. $2,000?
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed that intro with my guy Brownie Blends. If you don't know, you must go follow him. He's always a clown in the shop. But here I got my client Trey, client, co-worker, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be doing like a mid-ball fade, keep the C cup. And we're just going to go ahead and first start off by removing the bulk. Super important, makes the fading process super easy. So I took my number 4 guard and I'll go ahead and start removing the bulk right around the ridge area. Now I'll go down to my number 3 guard and I'll just go right below that number 4 guard. Sometimes I like to use the lever open and then I'll close it up depending on the hair texture and depending on how coarse it is, because I want to make the fade as consistent as possible. Then I'll drop down to that number 2 guard, same process, just right underneath that, open, and then I'll kind of close that guard up again. So here I begin to put my ball line in with the clipper closed. Sometimes I like to do it this way. I've cut his hair before and I find it easier to put the line in less harsh, so I would go in with just a blade all the way closed to make that guideline super soft. Also, once keeping it consistent the whole way through. You'll notice on my channel that I have a lot of different ways and a lot of different techniques to doing things, so just watch out. But I base all my haircuts off of the head shape and everything. So here I'll go in and I'll go ahead and clean it up with my Gold FX trimmers underneath that, and I'm gonna go ahead and frame the haircut out, by putting in that C cup, putting in his boxes. I'll do the same thing on both sides. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to begin to put our first guideline in, going up about a ½ of an inch. If you think about it, it's about the width of your finger. Just making sure that that guideline is super smooth, no dark spots in it. And consistency is key when making these guidelines, so you always want to make sure that the guidelines stay consistent the whole way through. While I'm in this area, I'm going to just go ahead and fade his beard in pretty quickly. I'm not really going to show, I'm showing you the process, but I'm not going to really tell you about the process. It's just fading down. I'll then go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Once again, making sure that guideline is super clean, going up about a finger width. So in this area, you'll see that I'll go ahead and I'll start closing up my lever a little bit. I don't know why I do this, but I always do. When I go to connect the other side, I tend to start taking out the guideline in the back instead of on the sides. It's just a habit that I'm trying to break, but the fades still come out the same. There's really no difference in where you really start, just knowing where you start and how to finish it. So yeah, I repeat the same process on the other side as well. Slowly opening up that blade, closing that blade, and really just playing with the lever based on what I see, any light or dark spots. And your fade's really gonna pop when you put in the little bit of time to detail your haircuts. You'll notice in a couple clips in this video that I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna detail my haircuts. Obviously it's sped up a little bit, so you won't see it all my detailing work, but it's a process. So now I'm gonna go in here with my number 1 guard, open up all the way and create that second guideline, going up about 1/2 inch. Also making it consistent, making sure that it's a clean guideline. This way you don't leave any dark spots as you're fading. Then we'll continue the process and we will go ahead and close that guard up, fade just below it. Then we'll drop down to that 1/16 guard. I like to go with the halfway open, and then I'll kind of gauge it based on whether I need to close the blade or open the blade. And I'll start using the corner of the blade just to kind of knock that line out. Super important that you're not using a full blade, just because you're less likely to put another guideline in. And you'll see me hop back to that number 1 guard, just cleaning up any spots that I may see during the process. Here I picked up my number 1.5 guard with the lever open. We're gonna go up till we're gonna fade into that number 2 guard, like we faded down to in the beginning. So we're gonna keep that blade open, and then we're gonna gradually close that blade until we start to see that line disappear. Now on his hair, you'll notice that right around his ear, where I'm kind of detailing at right there, it's pretty difficult, and I spent a little extra time in there just because he has like a little dip. Here I got my Annis Masters with the fade blade. I picked them up from time to time, but I'm just going in that extra detail. And here you go. See, it still looks kind of dark, but it's based on his hair color, and it's super coarse too. So I always try to spend a little extra time. Don't be afraid to have to spend a little extra time in some areas. In this next step, we're just going to repeat the same process from the other side. We're going with the number 1 open, and we'll close that blade up and just fade right below it. Now taking that 1/16 guard again, like I said, I like to start with the blade halfway position, and then I kind of gauge how much I have to close it versus how much I have to open it. And usually that 1.5 guard open will blend into that 1A to that 1.5, depending on how you flick your wrist, the flick of the wrist. But here we're gonna go in with my Annis Masters, add a little bit of detail work at some spots that I may see. If I'm talking a little fast, it's because the video is going fast. I'm recording this at like 10:52 at night right now, so yeah, it was a pretty busy day. I'm starting to get busier, so if you haven't watched my vlog, be sure to watch my vlogs. I'm a little bit behind right now, but I'm trying to catch up on these videos. So yeah, man, so here I got, you know, extra detail work in there. I'm just following the same steps I started in the beginning. You know, the longer guards, dropping back down, just making sure this fade is super consistent. And here, like, I'll follow up with the close shaver. Sometimes I do it first, sometimes I do it last. Just depends on what I'm feeling that day. I like to kind of change it up so I don't get bored. But I'm taking that gold full shaver and just cleaning up underneath that bald line. Just try not to go too high and create another line. And there I am with that detail work again in that one area. And then you got Brownie Blends trying to help me out with the fade a little bit. Here I take my taper comb with the texturizing shears, and I just go in there. Small detail work. It's all in the details. So now we got our water. We're going to spray the top down. We're going to get ready to cut the top, blend it in. As you can see, the fade's already there. I like to take these like little small sections, especially right there where there's recession points. He is standing on the two corners. He's probably going to hate me for saying that, but I wanted to be extra careful in that area and keep it just a little bit longer up front to kind of hide those points. Same thing, I'll comb that hair down, just being really careful in those areas and recession points. As you see, like I pull the hair out and I kind of try to maintain the square shape to go with his head, because I did keep it a little bit longer, that number 4 guard in there. And I'm going to clean up the beard. I'm not really going to talk much about that. We're just going to run through it a little bit, shape it up a little bit, and you got Brownie Blends again in my video. I know you guys saw it in the beginning. He had to have fun. This is my last video I recorded in the barbershop, so before I went to Texas. So if you didn't know, make sure you follow my vlog. We're going to give him a little bit of the treatment, giving him a little bit of the massager. Time for that razor work. I'm real meticulous with the razor work, one hair at a time, making sure it's super clean, super sharp. Using that Crispy Lines razor, the Turkish razor. I really like it. In the beginning, I was kind of hesitant just because I didn't want to cut myself. I've cut myself with a few razors in my career, so didn't want to do that again. But as you can see, it's coming in super sharp and super clean. But now we're just gonna finish up the haircut. We're gonna blow dry it, style it up, set it in place, add some product to it. I like to use a lot of matte finish products. And then we're just gonna start setting his hair in place. And I mean, the fade is looking clean, super blurry. And yeah, that's the finished product. I appreciate you guys for watching the whole way through. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe and like the video. Help me out. Let's grow the channel. And if you have any questions, any comments, just please leave them down below, and I will get back to you. I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, I'm gonna try to go to sleep, I think, or finish a couple videos. I got a couple vlogs I gotta do. So I will catch you guys on the next one.